Guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about why you should complete your AAPC program Practicode. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue. I'm a medical coder. Okay, guys. First, what is Practicode? If you are with AAPC, the American Academy of Professional Coders, and you are going to be taking the CPC, or the Certified Professional Coder credential, they do impose a 2-year apprentice time that you will have the -A. It stands for apprentice. CPC, Certified Professional Coder Apprentice. You will have this designation for 2 years, and then after you've gotten your experience in those 2 years, then you can have the A removed, and you can be a full-fledged CPC. But one of the ways that they have to accelerate the removal of the A is to go through their program called Practicode. Now, Practicode is a collection of 600 records that has their real world, and they have all of the private information redacted off of there. And so basically you are going through and practicing coding, okay? They call this the hands-on experience in their package, but it is Practicode, and you are working with these records. These are not multiple choice, so you have to abstract these diagnoses and procedures, and so that way that you can, once you've completed the program, you can have your apprentice down to 1 year. If you're working and you're doing Practicode concurrently or at the same time, then it will be, your apprentice status will be removed within a year instead of 2 years, okay? I did get this comment that says, "Thank you, Blue. I received my CPCA in May. I am also in the midst of Practicode. My school was 80 hours and AAPC approved. I'm still applying everywhere anyway. If I get the right job, I likely won't complete Practicode realistically. In thinking about it, I wish I had researched AHIMA more and didn't have the apprentice status to deal with. That being said, I received a scholarship that covered my schooling in full, so I can't complain." And I did tell the viewer to complete Practicode. That I even responded with, "That's great that you got a scholarship for it. That being said, you should still finish Practicode regardless. It is paid for already, and it will give you more practice, which is something that all medical coders need." And I truly do believe that. You know, there's a lot of people that say, well, you don't need Practicode. But if it was already with the program, then by all means, go ahead and finish it, you know. There's some people that say, well, should I buy it? If I'm saying my would rathers, right, I would say that you don't have to buy it. You can use books to work with, you know, and kind of, you know, get your practice in that way. But for some people, they see the benefit of, you know, accelerating that time. They want to hurry up and get the apprentice status removed, which it doesn't make sense to me to remove the apprentice status so quickly, because you're still going to have no experience. If you have no experience, you're going to have no experience. And there's a way that you can, you know, not be an apprentice as soon as you get your CPC, even though you have no experience. But that is if you have gone through an approved AAPC program, and that you do Practicode. So that is how you can also get the apprentice status completely removed, besides the fact if you've had experience before. So those are just some of the things. But again, if you have no experience and, you know, this was Practicode as part of your package, then by all means you should go ahead and finish it, because it is still going to give you the practice that you're going to need when you get out there in the real world. You know, it's just showing you different specialties that you can work through, and just work through these and go through them to make sure that you fully understand, okay? Because again, it's not multiple choice. The real world is not multiple choice. So you really do have to take advantage wherever you can of getting additional practice. Again, you don't have to purchase this separately. If you have to purchase it separately, I wouldn't recommend it, you know, because while it is a great educational product, I just don't think that, you know, to hurry up and remove it, and for what? So that employers can look at you. Employers are going to treat you the same way because you have no experience. So that is the reason that I say that. Save your money, invest in books, and you know, that way you can learn that way. You know, it's just the same. You know, So at least that's just my advice anyway when it comes to that. When it comes to anything that you are studying in your program, whether it is going through Practicode or whether it is, you know, taking a course that you think doesn't make sense, like medical law and ethics, why do you need that? You need it, guys. Everything in medical coding, in these medical coding programs, is there for a reason, right? It's not there because, you know, it's just for funsies. It is equivalent to doctors saying, do I really need to learn infection control when I'm in learning to do surgeries? Yes, it is absolutely needed. You have to know about infection control. You have to know about all of these things. Of course, when doctors are doctor, yes, but when medical coders are learning medical coding, you do need to learn about HIPAA, you do need to learn about medical law and ethics, you do need to learn all these things. And while it may not make sense to you, it will make sense to you in the future when you get out. Because getting all of your education and making sure that you have a comprehensive education while you're in school for medical coding is very important. This isn't fun games in the real world. This is real life. And we are held and we are culpable for everything that we select, everything that we submit. We have our name on every single claim that we put in, okay? So if there's a problem and there's a repeated problem, they're going to look for the coder. They're going to look for not just, well, my boss told me to do this. If you don't know the rules, if you don't know the laws, it's going to come back and bite you, right? So that's why you need to make sure that when you are going through these programs, you take every single course seriously. You may not like it. You may not like having to listen to particular courses, but they are all there for a reason. And when you take advantage of learning those things at that time, it will make your career a lot more maneuverable when you get out into the real world, because you're not going to sit there and be questioning like, well, you know, Practicode is great. Again, it is an educational product. Whenever I have done resume rewrites, I always put this on the education portion because it is not a internship. It is not considered work experience. For work experience to be work experience, it needs to have accuracy standards and productivity standards in order for it to count. Okay, so if that's what you're thinking that you can add it on, I've heard people erroneously say, oh, well, I'm just going to use Practicode as my internship. No. It is education. And employers already know what Practicode is. I mean, even though there are thousands of medical coders, we know what these programs are, you know. Even though I know that there's some managers that act like they don't know about certain credentials. They know. But with that said, you know, you want to make sure that you are getting all the education that you have paid for, that you go through everything, because you've already paid. That's the bottom line. You've already paid. And don't let, you know, your fatigue get you, especially once you've passed the certification. You know, this viewer has already passed her certification. I'm sure she's tired of the books already. But it is important to continue to study. This is something that is going to be lifelong. This is something that for the life of your career, you will have to study. And this is something that you can't get away from. The more that you expose your brain to these different methods of study, the better off that you will be, you know. Like I said, I think it's a great program anyway. I mean, Practicode. It is what it is. So I'm with the AHIMA. I'm not with AAPC at all, although you will hear me talk about both associations on my channel, because I believe that when you are a medical coder, you're trying to get into the health information field, that it is important that you know the two options that are out there. I have never ever been one to say, oh, this association is better, that association is better. I have always said the two giants are AHIMA and AAPC. These are who you want to be certified through, because these are who the employers are looking for. You know, I would never recommend anything on my channel that I don't personally believe in, you know, as far as like, you know, credentials and what associations to go through, if I didn't truly believe in them. So like I said, I want to make sure that you all understand that if you're getting certified, if you want to be a medical coder, you want to go through AHIMA or AAPC. If it is not either one of these, please do not ask me, because I do not recommend any other associations other than AHIMA or AAPC. But that is my message for today. If you all are going through this, I understand the need to want to take a break. Obviously, after you've gotten your certification, please do take a break. Make sure that you are giving yourself that time to have that good downtime, but then also make sure that you get back onto that study, because it is worth it, okay? It is worth it to continue to study. Again, you want to go through anything that you can find. There's also Just Coding that you can sign up for if you want to do some free practice on coding. They have lots of free coding exercises on justcoding.com. They have a free subscription and a paid subscription. I always tell people when you go on the website, go for the free subscription, go through the free quizzes. There are 5-question coding quizzes. They're multiple choice, but I do recommend covering up the answers, so that way you can get that practice in, and you don't, you're not just looking at the answers and trying to choose through multiple choice. You want to make sure that you're giving yourself that challenge to get through and look these things up in the book. It's very important that you stay on that. I've heard from too many people who have said, Bleu, I got my certification last year, I've been applying, and all of a sudden I got a job interview, and now I think I've forgotten everything. Don't be that person, guys. Don't be that person. Make sure that you still study, because it is so imperative. It is so imperative to brand new medical coders that you don't give up in this part, because this part that you're coming up through now, as far as applying for jobs, is going to be taxing on your ego, honestly, when you get all those rejections, because you will be rejected a lot in the beginning. Like I've always told you guys, make sure that you have a very good resume, a very good cover letter. And I've got plenty of videos on my channel about tips for new medical coders and their resumes, okay? You could just put into the little spyglass, resume tips, and they'll pop up. So make sure you check through the videos, guys, please. And put everything on there that you learned. Please make sure that you put on your resume that you learn ICD-10-CM. I see too many people trying to be lazy and put ICD-10. Get out of here. There's ICD-10-CM and ICD-10-PCS. So which one is it? And in this field of medical coding, it's all about details. For me, if I'm a hiring manager and I see somebody say, oh, I learned ICD-10, next. I'm not even going to look at you. Why? Because you did not give me the detail. And even though you might think it's common sense, trust me. People may think that, oh yeah, well, I mean, again, there's 2 ICD-10s, ICD-10-CM and ICD-10-PCS, 2 completely different things, 2 completely different mindsets. One is diagnoses and one is procedures. So just make sure that you're being very clear, guys. It is so important to do that. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.